Curtis Calhoun here with MMA News, and right now I'm joined by the former Bellator flyweight champion of the world, Ilima-Lei Macfarlane. It's getting ready to return on August 12th at Bellator 284. How's it going, Ilima-Lei?
Hi, guys.
Great to talk to you. Second fight after a 2-year layoff. Obviously, it's got to feel good getting back in there. How great does it feel being back competing, and especially after the knee surgery and all that?
Yeah, I'm super stoked that I was able to do a quick turnaround, which is really uncommon for me. Throughout the course of my career, I really have only fought like twice a year, and I would always kind of take a little hiatus after each fight for a couple months at least. I would like not do anything. So, but this time, yeah, that layoff, like a year and a half, after getting the surgery and everything. Yeah, it was too long. So I was like, I want to get in as soon as possible.
Absolutely. And take me through that 2-year layoff. I guess what was the road to recovery like? And after everything you went through, you returned in Hawaii. What was that whole experience like for you?
It was shitty. Oh, sorry. Can I swear on this?
Yeah, you're good.
It was okay, cool. So it was, yeah, it was shitty. I mean, surgery is never fun. And honestly, I'm not sure if it really helped either. And I've kind of just had to accept the fact that I'm gonna have knee problems for the rest of my life until I'm done fighting. But it's just whatever's. That's a lot of fighters go through this, a lot of athletes go through this, and it's just about being able to adapt to the situation and circumstances. So yeah, it was a nice little break off, I would say like my knee improved a little bit, but it's definitely not like I'm a 25-year-old again anymore. But it was cool. Like you just have to move forward and keep going.
And then you mentioned in a recent interview that you suffered a little bit of a neck injury in your last fight. Any update on that? Any lingering issues?
Yeah, and gosh, my neck has been an issue too for several years. And I actually got PRP injected into the spine and all the things. And it actually feels really good. So fortunately, there wasn't anything too serious. There wasn't any herniated disc. It was just like bone contusions and nerve damage. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, this is just the fight game. It's the hurt business for a reason, and everybody gets hurt. So it's just again how you have to adapt to it after that.
Let's talk a little bit about your upcoming opponent, Bruna Ellen. I feel like it's kind of weird, right? Because a lot of people are looking at her as an up-and-comer, but she's faced Juliana Velasquez and Vita Ortega. So really good sample size for her so far. What are your thoughts on her skill set?
Yeah, I think it is funny that people call her an up-and-comer because I'm like, no, she's been there. She's like there.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like the only reason she's not ranked, even though I don't believe in the rankings, the only reason she's not ranked is because she had that long layoff during COVID because she couldn't get over from Brazil. So, but yeah, she's like one of the first waves of girls in this division. She's fought everybody. She's fought like Alejandra, Vita, Velasquez. Like you said, she's pretty much fought like everybody that's ranked right now. And yeah, she's a very good fighter, super fast hands, really quick on her feet, very well rounded too. She has a good ground game, good wrestling game, and everything too. So yeah, it'll be a good test for both of us.
Absolutely. And the flyweight division is really stacked right now. Obviously, a lot of talent from top to bottom. I guess I just want to get your thoughts on the state of the division and get your thoughts on what do you feel like a win over Bruna Ellen does for you in terms of the flyweight title picture?
I think it won't really do anything, honestly, because I don't think I deserve a title shot yet after a win. I feel like I would need to win like at the very least 2, maybe even 3 to get that title shot again. So, I mean, I'm just looking at it as, I'm not sure when my last fight is going to be just because of the body. So it's like, I just want to have fun and put on good fights. And if that means that, I work my way back up to a title shot, then cool.
Yeah, because I feel like after a 2-year layoff like that, it's probably almost smarter and more methodical to take your time getting back to that title picture. Do you feel like that's the case?
Yeah, I think so. And I think our division is really interesting too. Like everybody has fought each other and we've all beat someone and we've also lost to somebody. So it's like super weird, the matchups. But I actually think that's what makes for a really great division is that like it really does it depend on the matchups, you know. A beating B doesn't mean that B beats C, you know, like that, whatever that analogy is. So yeah, I think it's interesting. And I think that most of the girls, at least in the top five, can make the case for, fighting for the title next. And so, yeah, I don't think I'm not to be honest, I'm not in a huge rush. And again, it's just like I want to be smart with my camps and, like you said, being a little bit more methodical. And if I feel that I'm ready health wise, to do another grueling 5-round camp. Because again, like title fights are a lot different. They're a lot more grueling. I've done my fair share of freaking 5-round camps and it's not fun. Mm-hmm. So I'm like coming back from this surgery just a little bit smarter, I guess, and just knowing what my body's limits are.
I totally gotcha. And I got to ask you about your teammate too, the new flyweight champion, Liz Carmouche. I just want to ask you about her performance against Juliana Velasquez and thoughts on that.
Oh yeah, she did so great. I mean, I thought it was like very even the whole fight, and a lot of people thought that it was stopped too early. I honestly feel like you could have made the case for either. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, it was a good stoppage or it was too early. But honestly, I've been under Liz's crucifix and she has these like freaking heavy ass tree trunk legs. Yeah. And Velasquez was not going to get out of that. Like, I promise you that she wasn't going to get out. So, you could definitely make the case that no, it was a good stoppage. But yeah, I'm excited to see that matchup again, because I do think they're the top in the division, and Velasquez, I think, has the strongest case for the rematch or the title shot. So, but yeah, super happy for her. Going into that fight, I had Liz winning anyway, so it all worked out in the end.
Absolutely. And I want to ask you a little bit about your commentary gigs too. How much fun has it been being on the commentary teams for Bellator?
Yeah, it's so fun. Honestly, if I could like pull a Josh Thompson and just become one of the fighter commentators, I would totally do it. So Bellator, if you guys need a commentator, let me know. But yeah, I have so much fun doing it. I love being on the production side of things. We always joke around. I was like, dude, production is so bougie. They get their own like food and assistants and their own cars. But it's so fun and the staff is freaking awesome. I love the whole production side. And yeah, I mean, that's definitely an avenue I would love to explore more if given the opportunity. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I was about to ask you about that. Do you feel like if given the opportunity, once obviously you still have a few more fights left in you, but do you feel like eventually after your career is over, you can move over and full time into broadcasting?
Oh yeah, 100%. I would love to do that. I think that I offer like a pretty, what's it called? I offer a really good cool perspective because I am a female fighter. Like, yeah. Yes, Josh is a fighter and everything, but like you don't really get to see a lot of too many female fighters who have actually done it. And I was the champion at one point too. So yeah, I just feel like maybe my personality is not as what's the word? Like I'm not controversial enough. I don't know, or like I'm not a chael. Yeah. So I think I gotta maybe step it up a little bit in terms of that.
Well, there's only one Chael Sonnen, right?
Yes, yeah.
Do you feel like commentary has made you a better fighter? Because I talked to Daniel Cormier a long time ago, and he really pointed out that he feels that being a commentator kind of makes him evaluate the sport a little bit differently. Do you feel like that's the case?
Yes, because it really does force you. Whoever thinks that commentating is easy, it's so not. Like seeing Big John and Josh them do their research on every fighter, and they know the fighter's history, they know their personal story, they know like how many submissions they had and like it's crazy the amount of research that goes into it, and you have to watch all their previous fights too. So yeah, it for sure just makes you training aspect of it. So I think that that's super important in with your fight IQ and making you a better fighter.
Absolutely. And before we wrap things up here, I want to give you the platform to shout out your foundation. What do you have coming up with it, and how can people get involved?
I recently started my own nonprofit that's called Nawahine Toa, which translates to Women Warriors. And basically, our mission is to help combat the MMIW, or the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women movement or epidemic. And in case anybody's unfamiliar with it, there is an epidemic that's sweeping North America and Hawaii as well, where Native women actually go missing. And you don't hear about it in the media. It's if it's reported to the police, they write it off as like, oh, she ran away, or oh, she was a sex worker, so whatever. And so there's just not a lot of effort going into the investigations or the cases. And so anyway, Native women, statistically, they actually face the highest rates of violence out of any demographic. So I go to Native communities out, on the reservations, or whether it's through my retreat that I hold in Hawaii for Native women, we teach them self-defense. And so, that's what I'm doing right now. And actually my Sioux Falls fight, it's dedicated to the MMIW movement. So you'll see a lot of girls that were on scholarship through my nonprofit. They will be joining me in the walkout, and we will be dedicating this fight to all of our sisters that we lost recently.
And then in terms of donations or a website or anything like that, where can people get involved with it?
Yes, you can actually go to my website, Ilima-Nator.com, and you can find out more information about it, learn about our retreats that we put on, or if you know anybody who, wants to, have me come out for a seminar to teach self-defense, hit me up. I'm actually going to be going out to a Cree reservation out in Montana after my fight to teach some girls out there. So Ilima-Nator.com. That's also my social media handles that you can find all the links on.
That is awesome. Definitely be sure to check that out. Once again, I really do appreciate the time. Last question before we go. What can fans expect at Bellator 284?
Fans at 284, you can expect a really awesome energy. It's actually in Indian country, so a lot of our relatives from Turtle Island will be out there. So super, super awesome energy inside the Pentagon Stanford Arena. And it's a sold out show, or it's going to be a sold out show. So make sure you guys get your tickets now. And me and Bruna, she's always game. So it's just going to be two super game fighters, just like laying it all out there.
Absolutely. We are looking forward to it. And before we wrap things up, I'll give you the floor to shout out your sponsors, social media, any of that good stuff. I'll give you the final word.
Shout out to my sponsors, as always, TC1 Gel. They've been with me since day one. My management, Matt Aptaker, my team, 10th Planet San Diego, 10th Planet Oceanside, or the 10th Planet Freaks. And you guys have been with me since day one. Shout out to Indian country. Thanks for letting us come over to your guys' land and put on a good show.
Absolutely. Well, Ilima-Lei, it was great to talk to you, and I'm sure we'll chat again soon. All the best with these final days of camp, and I'm sure we'll chat again soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Curtis.